What's going on, guys? My name is Mr. Nice Guy, and welcome to my first episode of my three-part series on how to be a pro at Mario Kart 8. So before we hit the tracks, the first thing we need to learn about is getting the right character and kart combination for you. Now, in Mario Kart 8, there really isn't any kart combination or character that is the best, but there is one that is the best for you and your playstyle. So when selecting a character and kart combination, there's some stats you might want to look out for that will work good for you depending on what your skill level is. Let's say you're new to Mario Kart and this may be your first Mario Kart game, or you're not very good, so some stats that might really be good for you to help yourself get better will be the acceleration stat and handling stat, because if you're not very good at the game, you might be falling off or getting hit by items, so that accelerational stat will help you get back to your top speed a lot quicker, and that handling stat will help you stay on track so you won't fall off on Rainbow Road. But if you are good and you know how to take the turn just right, you don't really need to care about handling. And again, if you're good, you're going to know how to dodge and block items very well, so you don't really need to worry about falling off or getting hit by items, so you don't really need to worry about the acceleration stat either, or handling, like I said. You're good at taking those turns. So something you do want to look out for is the top speed if you're good, because you're going to be in the front of the pack probably most of the time, and you're going to want as much speed as you can get to stay ahead of the rest of the competition. So now that you have somewhat of an idea of what stats you want to look out for, you need to know what characters have those stats that you need. So in Mario Kart 8 there are three different weight classes for characters. There's the light, medium, and heavyweight. I will put a picture up on the screen so you guys can see, and in fact light, medium, heavy are also split into different weight classes on their own. As you can see, light is split into two, medium is split into two, and heavy is actually split into three. The metal characters get their own, and they each have different stats. So again, if you're new to the Mario Kart game and you might want to go for a light character because those characters do have good acceleration handling, well, maybe pros will have good look out for that good speed, so you choose a heavyweight. Now you can pause the video and go back and look at that picture, and if it's a little hard to see on YouTube, I will have a link to where I got that picture. Was at the Mario Kart 8 wiki. There you can see all the character stats and car stats, which I will be talking about later in this video. So you guys can, if you guys want a better look at that picture, you can always go there. Now that you know what character you might want to select, the next thing you need to know is what kart or bike or ATV you want to use. But before we can get into all these stats and stuff about the karts, you need to know something about the different types of drifting. There are more types of drifting than just one in Mario Kart 8. There is the outside drifting, which is the normal drifting that I believe every kart has, and then there is the inside drifting that some bikes have. Not every single bike is inside drift, only a select few are inside drift, but pretty much everything else is outside drift. And then there's also ATVs, which are sort of a little mix of the two, and kind of what I can tell, it kind of feels like it's almost like middle drift, not outside, not inside, it's kind of like just in the middle. Now you may be wondering, what is the difference between inside and outside drifting? Well, outside drifting and inside drifting are just like what it sounds like. Outside drifting, when you start a drift, you go towards the outside of the turn and you take a wider turn. While inside drift, you go towards the inside of the turn, which can help you take sharper turns, but there's not really one that is better in any way. They're both equally good. It's just really what you feel is best for you. Now, if you're to ask for my opinion on what is better, I would say if you're new to the Mario Kart series, go for the outside drift, just because that's the normal drift of what most things have, and inside drift is a little more harder to get used to, and normally a lot of better Mario Kart players can get used to that and can do quite good with it, and inside drift is personally what I like. Now that you know the difference between outside and inside drifting, you need to know what karts and bikes have outside and inside drifting. Well, lucky for you, every single kart has outside drift. However, the bikes are kind of a mix of both. Some bikes have outside and some have inside. The bikes that have outside drift are the Standard Bike, the Duke, Flame Rider, Varmint, and Mr. Scooty, and every other bike is inside drift. Now that you know if you like inside or outside drift better, there's actually still one more thing you need to know about karts and bikes before you can choose what kart and bike you want to use, and that is hidden stats. What hidden stats are is something that does not show up in the Mario Kart 8 game, where it shows the little stats on the side. These are things that will affect your speed, handling, and traction depending if you're underwater or in an air gliding section. Sometimes a kart piece will make you go really fast in the air or really fast in the water, or have really bad handling in the water and really slow in the water, and these can actually really affect the outcome of your race, because my kart combination, if you see this one I'm using right now on screen with Donkey Kong, this is a really good combination that I like to use a lot all the time, but it's really slow and has bad traction for underwater, so I end up losing quite a lot of races on Dolphin Shoals. So sometimes I kind of wish I had a different combination for Dolphin Shoals for underwater. So how do you find out what these hidden stats are for every single kart piece? Well, again, if you click on the link in the description, that will lead you to the Mario Kart 8 wiki, and there you can find out what all the hidden stats are for every single kart piece, and you can look at them there. So there you have it. That's everything you need to know before choosing your kart combination. Now, of course, you can use the built-in stats that are in the Mario Kart 8 game, or if you are more of a numbers person, you can go over to the Mario Kart 8 wiki and look at the numbers so you can choose your kart combination easier there. And of course, just like what I said, if you're more of a pro, you might want to look for the top speed stat, and if you're newer to the game, you might want to look for that handling and acceleration. So if you need an example of what a good combination will look at, you can look at mine, for example. As you can see on the screen, I chose Rosalina because she is in the heavyweight category. However, I am not amazing at this game just yet because it is pretty new. So I chose Rosalina because she does have a little bit of a handling boost compared to one of the other heavyweights. And then I chose the Comet bike, which is an inside drifting bike with the fastest wheels there are. And then I chose Cloud Glider because that one will give me some extra acceleration that I might need in case I'm getting hit, because I mean, I'm playing Mario Kart, I'm going to be getting hit by items, so I thought that acceleration would be a little more important than having weight. There you have it. That is all the tips that I have to help you guys get the best kart combination you guys can get out there. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, just make sure to stay tuned for next episode where we hit the tracks and I will teach you guys some tips during the races. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to check out my other videos. My name is Mr. Nice Guy, and I will talk to you later.